And the Dolphins have got it back to within a score. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. The two are going to try and throw for it. That's caught. And he will get into the end zone to cut the deficit down to 4. And, of course, on the two-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense, is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Well, he's been the guy. Already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece of paper with that yardage totaled on it. He thought that catch was going to happen just as you and I did as well.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 33 yards that time.
That's a well-thrown ball right there. This is where arm strength pays off because he's got to be able to get the ball both downfield and to the sideline. And that's one of the more difficult throws for a quarterback, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at about the 32. He'll set up to throw from the gun. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. So they took their shot. It was a pretty good heave, but in the end, the free safety is the one who comes away with the football.
And two of the traits that you look for in a good free safety, range and decision-making. Both on display right there. And it didn't hurt that he's got a good pair of hands, too.
And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there, and he did a lot of that on that play.
A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Play action. Now it's Mahomes on the move to his left. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off Byron Jones. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. After the turnover, it's Tua. And going deep for Hill. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. It's a big play there for Miami. 45 yards. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit him with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage. Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Tua. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the third time. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And the Chiefs are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line.
Well, I would guess it combined, if you spoke to both defenses, neither side has a lot to celebrate today. They haven't had a lot of stops, but that one right there, that's a big one because they stole points away with that play. And just as importantly, picked up a key stop on an offense that's been really impressive here in the early going. And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And this one is incomplete.
Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Rolling to his left. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. And a failure on 4th down on the other side leads immediately to a 1st and goal. Here's Mostert. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal. So we've come upon one of the greatest performances of the year usually, but not here. Halftime of the Super Bowl is skipped, and we are on to the second half. Butker now to kick this one away. Well, certainly not what they wanted out of the locker room here as they'll start defensively at the 40-yard line. So now the possession will begin at the 35 after the errant kickoff.
Well, that's certainly one way to avoid a dangerous kick returner, I suppose, but you are giving up extra yardage, that's for sure. Because if you put it out of the end zone, they start at the 25. So at a minimum, you're giving up 10 yards to the offense.
Sliding out of the pocket. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Understanding he's just down one possession, trying to make something happen by extending the play, but the coverage downfield was excellent. He escaped and bought some time, but that one goes incomplete.
Back to the air on 2nd down, Tagovailoa. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. And hitting Juju on the slant. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll try to run with McKinnon. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. Mahomes now to throw. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Juan Thornhill. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all of these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game, but especially in later ones.
Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Mahomes. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. Well, right now, it's clearly the defenses that are stealing the spotlight in the biggest stage of sports. That's only the 4th time ever, Charles, that we have seen teams trade interceptions on back-to-back drives in Super Bowl history.
Something so rare, yet special that we're watching.
And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big play there for Miami. 57 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Tua going to throw. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Dolphins have regained the lead in the second half of this Super Bowl. Sanders now to add the extra point. Oh, they they pitch to the tight end. It's a fake. And the fake attempt here not going to work. Got a little yardage, but not enough to get to the goal line.
Let me go ahead and show my age a little bit.